Coming up on the South Florida High School Football Show, the Killian Cougars are ready to make a run to the state championships. In Broward County, Monarch could be the surprise team. They are loaded with talent. Blue rates the wide receivers, and Cardinal Gibbons is off to a strong start. All of that and much more coming up on the South Florida High School Football Show. Hello once again, everybody, and welcome to the South Florida High School Football Show, presented by the Miami Dolphins. Joe Zagacki with Don Bailey Jr. as we come to you from the Regal Cinemas, Broward Stadium 12 and RPX here in Plantation, right off of Pine Island Road, in between Pine Island Road and University Drive. All right, Don Bailey, we've got another big weekend of high school football coming up. We're going to kick things off here with Cardinal Gibbons in Broward County. They're off to a good start. They are coached by Mike Morrill. They lost a bunch of players from last year, but despite that, they're still playing really good football.
Joe, when you take into consideration the fact that they lost 31 seniors and they are off to the start that they have, that tells you that Coach Morrill has got his system in place. He has the culture in place. He's got the weight room in place. His coaching staff is secure. And it's important to realize anytime you lose that large a number of leaders and seniors, it's hard to duplicate success, but he's doing it.
He has been putting some players into the Division I ranks. He has a defensive end by the name of Richard McIntosh, committed to the University of Miami, and defense right now is carrying Cardinal Gibbons.
There's no problem with defense carrying your unit. What it does is it also gives you the opportunity to build confidence on your offense. His defense is a very powerful and structured defense. They understand what they're supposed to do philosophically, and they chase the football.
All right, well, they are in a tough district, 16-5A, with American Heritage and Jackson. Next week, they've got a big game coming up as well against Northeast. We'll preview that one a little bit later on in our show. Let's go down to Miami-Dade County. Killian, the Cougars have very high expectations. They have Jaquan Johnson. He's a U.S. Army All-American. He is one of the top players in the state.
He is, and he's looked at nationally. He is being recruited by everybody in the country. Killian, you talk about expectations. Through history, they have put great programs out every single year. They're disciplined, they work hard, and they understand both the offense and defensive scheme.
Johnson, who is committed to the University of Miami, they compare him to Sean Taylor, tough and smart and passionate.
Well, if you're Johnson, the thing you have to realize, if you go to the U, you have the opportunity to play now. Proof is in the pudding in Coral Gables. They're playing a lot of freshmen, and they're successful.
Killian off to a great start. Early in the season, they've outscored their opponents 31-3.
It's amazing in this day and age how the offenses are putting up more points every single year. I think the 7-on-7 camps in the summer and all the work that the guys put in on their own are producing these big offensive points and outbursts.
All right, Killian with a team of elite players. They're trying to make it back to states for the first time since winning it in 2004. That's hard to believe. It's been that long since they've been back to states. Let's go up to Broward County and Monarch. This is kind of a newer school. They might be a sleeper for some, but they have a ton of athletes.
They've got explosive playmakers, and that can cover up a multitude of sins. When you realize that you have guys that can score not only out of the backfield, but out of the receiver spot on any given play, you can overcome a lot of deficiencies.
They have wide receiver Calvin Ridley and defensive back Sean Burgess-Becker. Ridley is only available for the first couple of games this year because of age reasons, a little bit of an odd situation there. But Sean Burgess-Becker is one of the top players in the county.
That he is, Joe, and he plays his position precisely. He understands what his role is. He helps in the running game, and he's an amazing athlete.
And they have a quarterback that can throw the football. Michael Harris threw for nearly 3,000 yards a year ago and 31 touchdowns. So at this level, when you have that kind of player at quarterback, you can win a lot of games.
You know, the yards are somewhat deceptive in the sense that if you have big plays, 3,000 yards, and it's a ton of yards, it's easier easier to get to, but the 31 touchdowns, they tell the truth. That means this young man is hitting his guys on the run, and he's getting them into the end zone.
Well, some might think they're going to be a surprise. They are in District 11, 8A. 8A could be tough to get through all the way to the States, but they have, as we mentioned, a ton of explosive players. There are some great highlights this weekend around high school football, and with all the highlights, here's Joe Rose.
Thanks, Joe and Don. A lot of action from Friday night football to get to. Here we go. Let's start in Broward County. High school football, Hallandale taking on Coral Springs. Coral Springs is ahead 13-0, but Hallandale charges back. Tyler Huntley connects with Jawan Taylor for 6. Hallandale comes all the way back to win this one 28-20, the final. The mascots were out for Cypress Bay and Flanagan. This one was all Flanagan. Kevon Mitchell catches the ball in stride, and no one's going to catch him. 30 yards to the house untouched. Flanagan rolls in a big way over Cypress Bay. 33-10 the final. Thursday night, Miami Central smashing Columbus. The Rockets are ranked 3rd in the state in 6A and showing why. Jared Thomas connects with Torrin Wilson for a 45-yard touchdown. He had 4 touchdown passes. Central improves to 4-1 with the 42-14 win. American and Goldman. No problem for the Patriots in their district opener. Josh Cartwright throwing on the run to Anthony Taylor for the 60-yard score. American rolls. 40-zip the final.
The South Florida High School Football Show is brought to you by the Miami Dolphins, the U.S. Army. There's strong, and then there's Army Strong. Tico People's Gas, reminding you to call 811 before you dig. Metro PCS, wireless for all. South Florida Chevy dealers, find new roads. Broward Health, powerful medicine. Regal Entertainment Group, where we are more than just a movie. Adidas Football and the Addy Zero 5-Star 3.0, and 560 WQAM Sports Radio.
At some point, it became more important to show off than to share. We started missing the good stuff around us, just so we could focus on what makes our lives look good. But it's not the quality of the picture that matters. It's the quality of the moment. The Chevrolet Malibu, J.D. Power's highest-ranked midsize car in initial quality, for people who know what's truly valuable.
Follow your course. Hey, watch out. Force it up. Push it. Get yourself.
Baby, what's the fastest way to the hospital?
It's coming.
What do you mean it's coming?
I'm pushing, but it's too slow.
No, baby, breathe.
At times like these, you shouldn't go slow. You should be fast. With Metro's lightning fast nationwide 4G LTE network. With unlimited data, talk, and text, $40, period.
Twins.
No surprises. Even taxes and fees are included. $40, period.
The recruiting segment is brought to you by Metro PCS, wireless for all.
The South Florida High School Football Show continues, presented by the Miami Dolphins. Joe Zagacki with Don Bailey Jr. as we come to you from the Regal Cinemas, Broward Stadium 12 and RPX here in Plantation. Beautiful movie theater. Come on by. Go to a high school football game and then see The Late Show here at the movie theater.
And don't forget the popcorn.
Oh yeah, it's really good here. All right, we're going to talk about the wide receivers. Larry Bluestein is going to run down all the top wide receivers for us in a moment. And boy, oh boy, when the colleges go looking for wide receivers, Dade and Broward County is the place to come.
It certainly is, Joe. Just through the history of college and high school football, Florida has produced skilled players, not only Dade and Broward, but throughout the whole state. And I think really what's enhancing that position, and we talked a little bit about it earlier in the show, is the 7-on-7s. These guys are getting in more routes. They're getting an understanding of how to run routes, but also they're getting the repetitions. They're catching that football 12 months a year, not just during football season, not during camp, but it's a year-round deal.
You know, the other thing, if you look at college football, the offensive numbers now have skyrocketed. Teams are averaging 500 yards a game, and they're averaging 40 points a game. That means kids are scoring a lot of touchdowns. Well, guess what? They want to play on offense from the high schools to the colleges.
That they do, and one thing the offenses are trying to do, of course, is pick up the tempo, run more plays per game. How do you do it? By throwing the football.
All right, we're going to find out who's going to be on the other end of those passes with Larry Bluestein on our Metro PCS LG Optimus F6 right here. Pretty handy. Next week we're going to text him, but right now we're going to go old school. All right, Blue, let's find out about those wide receivers.
Hey, Don and Joe, receiver time every year. I tell you this, the receivers in South Florida are just tremendous. And we start out in Dade County, probably one of the best ones that we've seen, Devontae Phillips. He's from Miami Central. This is a kid that's been getting it done for 3 years now. I mean, this is a quality guy. Against Daytona Beach Mainland last year, they needed somebody to step up. He did it. This is a guy that can mix it up with even the best of defensive back. He's got great leaping ability, tremendous hands, and great speed. Also in Dade County, University of Georgia commitment, Shakiri Wilson from Coral Gables. Last year, a lot of people hadn't heard of him. This is a big-time prospect, a guy that can play in the SEC, a guy that pretty much can play anywhere. He stretches the field vertically. I mean, this is a guy that coaches were talking about early last year, saying, this is a quality kid. This is a kid that can match up with anybody, and he does a great job. And rounding out Dade County from Champagnat Catholic, Wake Forest commitment, Stephen Claude. I remember when he started out at Norland, he had so much promise. Then he comes and plays for the 2A state champions. This is a guy that can get it done. He'll match up against anyone, a very intelligent kid, grade point average in the 3.3 range. I mean, this is like Wake Forest commitment. I mean, come on, guys. I mean, it doesn't get any better than that in the ACC, academics, great football. I mean, this is the guy that Coach Mike Tunsil told me. He says he's a leader on our team. He does things from special teams. He'll play defense if he has to. Shakiri Wilson is one of those players. Moving into Broward County, you have the #1 receiver in the country, Calvin Ridley from Monarch. Now, Calvin's only going to play for a couple of weeks due to his age, but this is a guy that's already proven himself. He's going to Alabama. I mean, Coach Saban even told him, hey, play your 3 games, call it a year. We already know what you could do, believe me. I mean, when you watch this guy play, you know right away he could do so many great things. Also, recent move into Broward County, Javon Durant. Started out at Dr. Crop, went to Jackson for a minute, went to Northwestern for a minute, and then to Norland, and now he's in Miramar. But when you watch him play, he's a West Virginia commitment. The kid's got great speed, tremendous moves, probably one of the best double move guy I've seen. Good hands, comes from an athletic family. He's a big time prospect. And rounding out in Broward County, Devontae Pete from St. Thomas Aquinas, 6'5", a little over 200 pounds. Kid stretches the field. He just creates so many mismatches. I'm telling you, this is a big-time prospect. Came from Blanche Ely before last year. He's the grandson of golfer Calvin Pete, so you know he's got some athletic lineage. Guys, let me tell you something. Receiver, no drop-off in 2014. None whatsoever. Quality in Dade, quality in Broward.
Thanks, Larry. Remember, South Florida high school football fans, you can stay in the know with the latest news and updates by following us on social media.
Follow us on Twitter at HSFBall, Instagram at SFHSFS, and be sure to like us on Facebook at South Florida High School Football.
We continue now with our Broward Health Injury Report, and joining us is Dr. Riley. In this report, we're going to talk about the ACL injury, the diagnosis, and then what happens after it is diagnosed.
Well, I think it's important to understand that anterior cruciate ligament is important for the stability, especially in an athlete who participates in high action, high energy impact sports. And what it does is it helps restrain the knee from becoming unstable as you abruptly cut, turn, pivot, and those are the things that you would do in sports like football, tennis, soccer, skiing as well. It used to be that anterior cruciate ligaments were career-ending injuries, and with the new technology now and the way it is repaired, you can get a player back to what they were doing previously within a year.
Why are you able to get him back so quickly?
Well, there's new techniques now. There's arthroscopic techniques that we use to reconstruct the ligaments, and that has made a world of difference. We have a little bit more knowledge on the science and where to put these ligaments and how to correct them than we did, say, even 15, 20 years ago.
All right, very good, Doctor. Thank you very much. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
The Play of the Week is brought to you by Regal Entertainment Group, where we are more than just a movie.
Chaminade taking on Gulliver Prep. CJ Hassett takes the handoff for Gulliver, and this is one hard-fought touchdown, taking defenders with him across the goal line for a touchdown.
With more than 50 locations across Broward County, there's always a Broward Health Doctor's Office, urgent care center, or top-ranked hospital within range. Maybe even closer than you think.
Broward Health. Powerful medicine.
To find the Broward Health facility nearest you, call or go online.
As a kid, I wanted to play football to make me stronger. At Dolphins Academy, I saw my skills grow. Campmates turned into teammates. Summer days in shorts turned into Sundays in pads. I'm Olivier Vernon, and we are stronger together. Join us at Dolphins.com.
For outdoor projects large or small, avoiding buried utility lines is more than food for thought.
What happened?
Know what's below. You or your contractor should always call 811 before you dig. Utilities will mark your lines for free. Brought to you by Tico Peoples Gas.
The Coach of the Week is brought to you by Adidas Football and the Adizero 5-Star 3.0. The lightest cleat in football can be bought at adidas.com/football.
And the South Florida High School Football Show presented by the Miami Dolphins continues. Joe Zagacki with Don Bailey Jr. We're at the movies. We're at the Regal Cinemas, Broward Stadium 12 and RPX here in Plantation between University and Pine Island Road. Every week on our show, we talk with a head coach from Dade or Broward County. This week, we go into Dade County. Hialeah. Mark Berman's been there for a long time.
That he has, Joe. He's done a good job, put a lot of players in Division I, but got a little bit of trouble with the Big T Trophy this year, did he not?
Well, Miami Lakes, who you played for, in Hialeah, that's always a great rivalry. It's going to be part of our discussion. What about those rivalries in high school?
I think they're great. I think that's really one of the things that everybody still is attracted to, and I know that the levels of play have changed and the divisions have changed and all these things have happened, but you can't take the rivalry out of the ball game, whether it's in high school or college. And I will tell you, our biggest game of the year when I was at Miami Lakes was against Hialeah, and we did win the Big T Trophy, but also that Carroll City game was pretty big as well.
All right, Mark Berman on rivalries and more with our Wesley Carroll.
Thanks, Joe and Don. I'm here with Adidas Coach of the Week, Coach Berman of Hialeah. Coach, you've been here a very long time. Talk about this rivalry against HML and what's so special about it.
Well, what's special about it is the fact that this game is only played for our players now. It's played for all the years that players have come through our locker room and the alumni that we have in our that keep calling us and texting us, and it's just an incredible feeling to know that there's so many people around the country that went to Hialeah and that this game means a lot to them.
No doubt, this game means a lot. Talk about some of those alumni that have come through here.
Well, I mean, we have Corey Lemonnier, who's with the San Francisco 49ers. His younger brother, Jesse, is a member of our football team right now. We also have Corey Leggett, who's with the San Diego Chargers. And then also Paris Cotton, who's playing with Winnipeg in the Canadian Football League. Those are just some of the best-known players. But we got a lot of players out there in college football today. We have many major Division I prospects that are playing. Last year we signed 22 out of 27 seniors that went on to college, so we've been very fortunate.
It means a lot when you have players playing at the next level, Coach. What kind of influence do those guys playing at the next level have on these guys on the team this year?
Well, that's a really good question. I've had texts today probably from about 20 of our alumni. Jermaine Sheriff, who's with FIU, is here now, and I'm sure other players will be here as well. It's pretty special, you know. Everybody gets into the feeling. We've been very fortunate to have the trophy for 9 years.
Moving on to this rivalry against HML. Talk about the rivalry, what it was, what it has been, and what it is today.
Well, records don't mean a thing in this game. For many years, the games were very close, coming down to the last couple of minutes. The last couple of years, we've been fortunate to be on top, and we played very well. And we stress to our players that this game, you can't go by records. A lot of emotion, a lot of build up to this game. I know that Coach Allison, being a new coach, is trying to get his troops ready to go. But on the other hand, we're trying to get our troops ready to go as well.
That's right. Thank you so much, Coach. Once again, that's Coach Berman, Hialeah High. He is our Adidas High School Coach of the Week. Thanks, Joe and Don. Back to you.
Thanks, Wes. Tico Peoples Gas is awarding the 6th Annual Player of the Year Awards to a player in Miami-Dade and a player in Broward County.
Fans can nominate a player by logging on to SouthFloridaHighSchoolFootball.com, click on the Tico Player of the Year icon. Nominations are open until November 30th. After November 30th, revisit the site and vote for the finalists.
The players receive a beautiful crystal trophy and their school receives a $500 donation.
Tune in to our National Signing Day TV show on February 4th, where the winners are going to be announced.
This Dolphin Player Flashback is sponsored by the Miami Dolphins.
How y'all doing, man? My name is Anthony Johnson, born and raised in New Orleans, Louisiana. Coming out of high school, I was very highly recruited. I was the #2 player in the country behind Jadeveon Clowney out of the 2011 class. I was offered by everybody, man. Had a scholarship offer from everybody across the country, but I decided to stay home and be a Bayou Bengal at LSU. You know, coming out of high school, I broke a guy, a lot of you all know, sack record. I had 79 sacks in high school. Became the national sack leader for high school football. After that, went to college, played 3 years at LSU, started my junior season. That's when I declared for the NFL draft. Went undrafted due to some issues, but you know, still made it to the NFL, still made it to a part of, you know, made it to the roster for the Miami Dolphins organization. And ever since then, man, it's been a blessing. But some great advice to you high school kids. Just want to let you all know that anything's possible, no matter how impossible it seems. When you get down, just try to keep uplifting everybody around you, and never let your brother walk alone, man. Everybody's tied into this thing together, and just go out there and have fun, man. Probably the best times of your life are in high school.
This week's All-American Bowl nominees are brought to you by the U.S. Army. They're strong, and then there's Army strong. This week we start off in Miami with Devonair Clarington from Booker T, Washington. With his physique and speed, this tight end is unstoppable on the field. Stacking in at 6'5", 222 pounds, Clarington has received offers from top universities such as Tennessee, LSU, Alabama, and Georgia, but seems to be leaning towards a commit to UM. Next up is Tyreek Cole, the cornerback from Miramar. Cole is 5'10", 165 pounds, and was awarded first-team All-County honors from the Sun Sentinel after breaking up 22 passes last season. After receiving offers from most of the top-notch programs in the nation, Cole plans on taking his talents to Tallahassee as he is committed to the Seminoles back in January. Last up is the Westminster Christian standout Jordan Cronkrite. This running back comes in at 5'11", 196 pounds, and has received offers from plenty of D1 schools. And although he committed to the U back in April, he is still unsure of where he stands with the Canes, and you can bet the coaches are doing everything in their power to ensure he does not explore his options.
You love movies. Join the club and the movies will love you back. The Regal Crown Club. With every visit, you earn credits toward free movies, popcorn, and soft drinks. Plus, with a valid email, you'll get money-saving offers and special invitations to exclusive events. Grab a card at the box office, activate it at regmovies.com, or visit our Regal Movies mobile app. Then earn rewards with a swipe or scan of your card right from your phone. So share the love. Join the club, the Regal Crown Club.
Follow your course. Hey, watch out. Force him out. Push up. Listen, get your swing.
At some point, it became more important to show off than to share. We started missing the good stuff around us, just so we could focus on what makes our lives look good. But it's not the quality of the picture that matters. It's the quality of the moment. The Chevrolet Malibu, J.D. Power's highest-ranked midsize car in initial quality, for people who know what's truly valuable.
Each week, the South Florida Chevy dealers are on site at our radio broadcast to present a donation to the schools we are covering as part of the South Florida Chevy Dealers Game of the Week. Each school receives a general donation of $250 from the South Florida Chevy dealers.
Congratulations to Hialeah and Hialeah Miami Lakes. Find new roads at your local South Florida Chevy dealer.
South Florida High School Football Show presented by the Miami Dolphins continues now. Joe Zagacki with Don Bailey Jr. We're in Broward County at the Regal Cinemas, Broward Stadium 12 in RPX here in Plantation between Pine Island Road and University. Of course, every week we have a big game for you on the radio on 560 WQAM. And with a preview, here's Mike Levine.
Thanks, Joe and Don. Well, we return to Cypress Bay for another district matchup. This time, Cypress Bay takes on Everglades. And every time you go into district action, every second means something, every play means something. There's no time to waste minutes. It all counts. CB and Everglades, a lot of talent on the field. Those two teams pretty physical as well. Should be a heck of a matchup in Cypress Bay. Joe, Don, back to you.
All right, Mike, thank you very much. A couple of other big games coming up next weekend. Norland will take on Columbus, and Homestead will play Killian. You know that's going to be a big rivalry matchup as well. In Broward County, Cardinal Gibbons will take on Northeast. This is going to be a tough challenge for Northeast. Cardinal Gibbons, we talked about them a little bit earlier in our show. Their quarterback, Tyler Monaco, he's going to put a lot of pressure, Don, on that Northeast defense.
Well, Monaco understands his role in the offense, which is very important, but also, Joe, he's got the outside receivers to make him click, and he's got enough of a running game to keep any defense honest.
On the other side of the ball, Northeast will have to find something to click on offense because the Cardinal Gibbons defense has been outstanding so far. They've allowed just one touchdown in each of their first 3 games.
Yeah, they have been extremely successful this season. They chase the football. They understand also that they're going after strips, they're going after takeaways, and they're always hunting for the sack.
In Miami-Dade County, this is a huge small school showdown. This is going to be Gulliver and Westminster playing next week. It's going to be an afternoon game. Huge game of 2 of the most talented small school teams in the state. Gulliver has one of the best teams that they've had in a while. Westminster will have to deal with a wide receiver and defensive back by the name of Deontay Mullins. When you've got a guy that can go both ways like that and is that athletic, he can change the game.
Absolutely, and he can change it on both sides of the football. It's going to be a great game. You expect a great turnout, and we talk about the importance of these mini rivalries that are still left in Dade and Broward County.
Earl Sims stresses execution and togetherness. Those two combinations, it's pretty good.
And Joe, the togetherness comes especially in the fourth quarter. If you're down or you're struggling and you need all hands on deck, that's when together is needed most.
All right, should be a good one next week. Gulliver and Westminster, many great games next weekend. We'll have them all right here on the South Florida High School Football Show next Sunday, 2 times for you, 6:30 a.m. and 1 o'clock in the afternoon. 6:30 a.m., 1 o'clock next Sunday, right here. For Don Bailey Jr., I'm Joe Zagacki. We'll see you on the South Florida High School Football Show. So long, everyone.
The South Florida High School Football Show has been brought to you by the Miami Dolphins, the U.S. Army. There's strong, and then there's Army strong. Tico People's Gas, reminding you to call 811 before you dig. Metro PCS, wireless for all. South Florida Chevy dealers, find new roads. Broward Health, powerful medicine. Regal Entertainment Group, where we are more than just a movie. Adidas Football and the Addy Zero 5-Star 3.0, and 560 WQAM Sports Radio.
Yo, let the boys know why we Miramar, why we beat this red, white, and blue, why we got this Miramar on our chest. Let these boys know why we run this thing, man. Let these boys know why everything starts with us.